Mom warned me to never answer the door if she knocks. She died 2 days ago, and someone just knocked on my front door pretending to be my dead mom. My mom gave me one rule before she died. She grabbed my wrist from her hospital bed at 11:47 p.m. on Tuesday night, looked me dead in the eyes, and said 4 words that made no sense. Don't answer for me. I thought it was the morphine talking. She'd been in and out of consciousness for days, saying random things about her childhood, calling me by my dead grandmother's name. But this was different. Her grip was strong. Her eyes were clear. If I knocked, don't answer. Promise me. I promised. What else could I do? She was dying. 12 hours later, she was gone. The funeral was small. Just me, my Aunt Linda, and a few of Mom's co-workers from the hospital where she worked as a night nurse for 23 years. I didn't cry. I couldn't. Something about her final words kept replaying in my head like a broken record. Why would she knock? She'd be dead. I moved back into her house to sort through her things. The place still smelled like her lavender perfume mixed with the medical supplies she'd brought home over the years. I found myself talking to her photos, asking questions she'd never answer. Why that warning? What did you know? Last night I found something in her bedroom closet. Hidden behind a stack of old sweaters was a shoebox filled with newspaper clippings. All of them were obituaries, 47 of them, dating back to 1989. Each one had a red circle around the same phrase, died peacefully at home. I didn't recognize any of the names, but I recognized the addresses. Every single one was from houses on our street. I stayed up reading them until 2 a.m. That's when I heard it. 3 soft knocks on the front door. My blood went cold. I told myself it was nothing. A neighbor, a drunk teenager, anything. I walked to the door and looked through the peephole. My mother was standing on the porch. She was wearing the same blue dress we buried her in 2 days ago. Her hair was done the same way the funeral home had styled it, but her eyes were wrong. They were too wide, too eager, and they weren't blinking. She smiled when I pressed my eye to the peephole, like she knew I was watching. Honey, let me in. I forgot my keys. Her voice was perfect. The exact same tone she used when she'd come home late from her shifts. But my mom never forgot her keys. Not once in 23 years. Mom's dead, I whispered through the door. You're not her. The smile didn't waver. Sweetheart, I know you're scared, but it's cold out here. Just open the door and we can talk about it. I backed away slowly. My phone was on the kitchen counter. I needed to call someone. Anyone. I can hear you breathing, she said. Her voice was changing now, getting deeper. I can smell your fear through the wood. I ran to the kitchen and grabbed my phone. When I turned around, she was at the window. Her face was pressed against the glass, that horrible smile stretching wider than any human mouth should stretch. Your grandmother answered for me, she said. Your Aunt Patricia answered for me. Every woman on this street answered for me. Your mother was the only one smart enough to run. I called 911. Told them someone was trying to break in. The dispatcher said units were on the way. They won't help you, the thing wearing my mother's face said. They never do. By the time they arrive, you'll have already let me in. I'm not opening the door, she laughed. It sounded like my mother's laugh mixed with something wet and wrong. You don't have to open the door, sweetheart. You just have to invite me. That's when I understood. The rule wasn't about the door. It was about responding. I stopped talking. Stopped making any sound at all. I put my phone on silent and texted the 911 dispatcher instead. She stood at that window for 3 hours, whispering, pleading, threatening, describing what she was going to do to me in perfect detail. At 5:17 a.m., the sun started to rise. I watched her face twist with rage. This isn't over, she said. I waited 23 years for your mother. I can wait for you. She walked backward into the street, never breaking eye contact, and disappeared into the shadows between the houses. The police arrived 20 minutes later. Found nothing. Told me grief does strange things to people. Recommended a therapist. I found more clippings today, hidden in the basement this time. These weren't obituary. They were my mother's handwritten note. 47 names, 47 women. All answered the door. All dead within 24 hours. At the bottom of the last page, my mother had written one final line. If I die, she'll come wearing my face. She always wears the face of whoever she takes. Don't speak to her. Don't acknowledge her. And whatever you do, don't say her name. I flipped to the next page. There was one word circled in red. Mom. I said it out loud when I read it. Before I could stop myself, the knocking just started again.
Scan the QR code to download TikTok. The subsequent story endings are explosive and full of hidden surprises waiting for you. You can also get rewards by creating a new account.